All right, welcome to our noisy lab. Lots of things running, making noise, so apologies for the audio quality. What we're doing today is testing a new type of resonator. Our MKIDs are made out of a variety of materials. Mostly lately we've been using hafnium and tantalum, but we have this problem where when a photon hits our detectors, it creates this little fireball of electrons and phonons. Phonons are lattice vibrations. You can think about them as sound waves in a crystal. Some of those sound waves can escape from our metal film into the substrate, the crystal that we put our MKIDs on, before they reach thermal equilibrium. And that causes all kinds of problems for us. Mostly it lowers the spectral resolution. It lowers how well we can tell the energy of every photon, or the wavelength of every photon. So what we're doing here is testing a new way to stop those phonons from escaping. And the way we're doing it is we're trying to put a very thin film of bismuth, which is a very weird semi-metal, only about 10 nanometers thick under our hafnium film. And this should act as a one-way valve for phonons, only letting low-energy phonons through. So we're going to do some testing of this. We've got a new way of making that bismuth hafnium. So Hawkins, who's on camera now, went and made these films down at JPL with our collaborator Bruce, and now we've etched them into the patterns, and now we finally diced them up. And so we put it in the fridge, and now we're going to turn it on and see if it worked. Now I have to warn you that the physics is for optimists. I'll say that much. This kind of physics, you fail more often than you succeed. Almost all of our problems also come from fabrication. The nanofabrication we do is extremely picky. There's a lot of material science and a lot of surface physics, and both of those things are, they're very difficult areas to reach. You're talking about single atom thicknesses of materials and defects that are very hard to see that cause all your problems. So companies like Intel, when they spend billions of dollars, can sort of address these kind of questions, or at least engineer their way around them by having enough trials to figure out what works. For us, it's a little bit of a different circumstance. So what we're doing now is we're going to test this new indium hafnium resonators. Right in front here is the dilution refrigerator. That's what's cooled our devices. What's our current temperature, Hawkins?
We're at 37 millikelvin because
we flipped some switches and put in some heat, so we're at about 37 millikelvin. And now we're going to look on the network analyzer, and that's going to show us the microwave transmission through the device. All right, so we see right now we've calibrated on a through line in the fridge. Now we're going to open some microwave switches. Now there's no transmission going through our device. Then we're going to close the appropriate switches to send a radio frequency signal through our device, and there it is. So we have feed line transmission. That's good. What's our power at?
60.
Let's go lower. All right. And so we're seeing the whole 4 to 8 gigahertz range. We have very good transmission, so that's nice. There are not obvious resonators. These are too wide.
They're not.
There's probably some kind of feed line feature.
So we have transmission but no
resonator. So we got to go. Now we'll go through and scan through here, looking for sharp features. You probably want to go down to like minus 75 dBm.
Okay.
So the powers that we're looking at, there's internal attenuators in the fridge that are about 30 or 40 dB. So we're actually talking about powers about minus 100, minus 110 dBm, which 0 dBm is 1 milliwatt. So we're at powers that are sort of on the order of a picowatt or lower. So very low probe power. So we have very nice amplifiers. So we're just gonna search through here 200 megahertz at a time, looking for features. When we see a feature like,
from last time.
When we see a feature that this is probably too low Q to be real. But if we see a feature, we'll start changing the power level and see if we can distort it, which would be a sign that it was actually a resonator. Oh, there's something. Just little.
Yeah.
Try changing the power on it. Nope. That's not it.
Could be that we have resonators that are outside of the 20 picohenry per square
Yeah, that's
device that we
possible.
have.
It's possible.
Just a few more, but it's also likely that they're just destroyed because they're too low Q.
Yeah, there's a little structure here.
No.
That one got sharper, didn't it? Go even higher. Go to like minus 50. No, they're not real. Yeah. So what the fabrication process of these things probably messed up the resonators.
Again, structure, but I don't think that's
Yeah.
it.
Is it possible that bismuth has changed the surface impedance of the...
Yeah, it definitely could have.
But we tested previously with hafnium bismuth, so I think it's more like
around this?
around these thicknesses. So I believe that it's likely that these resonators just got killed.
Yeah, they probably just got killed. We've had good bismuth hafnium resonators before, just not on this group.
And this is
All right.
the heated NNP
Yeah,
strip.
exactly.
Yeah, so we did a process to clean the wafers after dicing, and it may have damaged the bismuth. All right, so that's what life in the lab is like. We'll try again.
Yeah, I'll switch to something.
Okay, we're going to switch to, are these your resonators? So we're going to switch to a bunch of waveguide M-Kids. We've tested this device before. It had low QI, but it worked. So now we're going to switch over and see if this is going to work.
It's our third time cooling down, and we see transmission.
Yeah, okay.
So we can get this fiber.
So here you see these, we've got these features on here. Yeah. So if
what it
Hawkins
should
can,
look
that
like.
it should look something more like that, where you have some kind of transmission and then a bunch of very sharp dips. And so Hawkins is going to zoom in. We'll look at some decent M-Kids. It's one of the nice things about this fridge. We can test somewhere between 4 and 6 devices, right? So that's a nice M-Kid. It's about 10 dB deep. It's fairly narrow. The wavelength range here is 50 megahertz, so fairly low Q for us. But you know, that resonance dip is what we expect from a nice M-Kid. If you're just an electrical engineer, you might think of this as a notch filter. That's kind of what the M-Kid is in electrical terms. All right, so we'll do some checking out of this device for Majid's waveguide M-Kid project. And then later today, we're going to look at our other fridge, which happens to be cold, where we've put in the new windows, and we want to see if we are still getting high QI with the new windows. All right, so we're hooked up now. So this is the first cool down since we put the windows in the white fridge. We cool down to 21 millikelvin, which is pretty good considering we have a 2-inch window open to our detector. So now we're going to turn on the amplifiers, use the network analyzer to see if our resonators are still there, and to see if the internal quality factor, the loss in the resonator, has changed with the photons hitting it from the room. So let's see. All right, so that looks good. We're now looking at the transmission from 4 to 8 gigahertz. You see all these dips. We don't have our parametric amplifier on, so there's some extra wiggles, and there's a bit of more roll-off than expected here at high frequencies. That's mostly power amp loss. I think if we turn the power amp on, this would look good, but we can just kind of pick a place, let's say, you know, here around a little over 5 gigahertz, and we'll center it there. We'll go to a span of, say, 50 megahertz. And here we have a whole bunch of resonators. We have averaging on, you can look at our power. It's like we need some All right, so we got some resonators. They don't look amazing, but what I'm gonna put them on, and I'm gonna display the data and the memory. And now I'm gonna turn the lights off, and we're gonna see if things move. Oh yeah, things move significantly. So that is the light hitting the array. So we need a lens cap, which is not surprising. Let's find one of these resonators that looks good, and we'll go into a little, we'll zoom in. All right, so there's our resonator. We've taken it to we've saved it to memory. Now I'm going to turn the lights on and watch what happens. This is just room light leaking in. This is actually, this is too much power. So let's try to turn the power down a little bit to make this resonator. Yeah, we may need to, something going on with this. Yeah, that resonator is pretty saturated, but it should show the effect. See, as soon as the lights come on, we move a ton. So that's exactly what you expect if you're getting heated up by photons hitting this detector. So next goal is to block out the light from hitting it and see. All right, the lights are on now. We're zoomed in on two nice resonators that are sitting in on a different feed line where we don't have the power amp. So they're just using our Hemp amplifiers. But what we want to do now is Ronald's got the a piece of black cardboard. We're going to put it in front of the lens cap, and well, first we'll turn off the lights. Then we'll see what happens. Oh, see that moving around right there? Someone's changing the amount of light in the room. Or there's magnetic. Oh, did you put it in front? Okay, so yeah. See that big change with it in front? That's good to see. So now we'll go save that. Now we'll turn off the lights and see if we get more. It's not particularly dark in here, and it looks like there wasn't much of a change between having the lens cap on. But the good news is these resonators are 25 dB deep and pretty sharp, so it looks like we're getting high QI with our windows, which means this experiment was a success. So today, Thursday, November 30th, 2023, we're batting 1 for 2. The black fridge, the bismuth hafnium didn't work, but the new windows are working and we're still getting high QI. We'll take some more detailed measurements to quantify what the QI is and make sure that there wasn't any degradation, but this is totally usable and means we are good to go on this spectrometer project.